Welcome to Focused Camera. I'm Cheryl. Today we're going to do a review of this Ruittos B2 ball head. The company Ruittos sent me this product free of charge in exchange for an honest review. I'm going to put a link to the product and some specs in the description below. So let's get started. First off, the product packaging is a little bit plain. It's very simple, but you take the product out of the box and you realize it's a very sturdy construction. It's all metal. It has very clear, easy to read numbers, including the dial for the tension. And it seems like it's going to be very easy to use. The levels are also very clear and easy to read. Overall, it's a pretty nice looking piece of equipment that reminds me of a smaller cousin to the Manfrotto XPRO ball head, which I use quite often. The Ruittos B2 is about $25 in price, and the Manfrotto is $170. Considering that there's such a difference in price tag, it almost seems like an unfair fight, but the Ruittos ball head performed very well compared to this more expensive product. My first day of testing, I took the Ruittos to Gibbs Gardens. I wanted to test its overall user-friendliness in a setting that I have been to many times, and as I had anticipated, it was very easy to use. Installing it on my tripod was quick and easy. It threaded on without sticking or cross-threading. Once it was in place, it stayed put on the tripod, and after many hours was still tight. The mechanism for tightening the clip to your camera is very strong and sturdy, but it is kind of hard to tighten without the use of a coin. So you can put it on, it's nice and strong, but then that final tightening, you might need a penny or something like that you just carry in your pocket to get it secure. The camera will work its way loose off of this plate if you try to walk around with this still connected to the ball head. It specifically says in the instruction manual not to do that. However, I tested it because I did want to see what would happen, but I was wearing a neck strap to keep my camera safe. So it will work its way loose if you try to carry it around with them attached. So always disconnect your camera before you move locations. But once it was set up, it was nice and secure and I didn't have any problems with it coming loose, but I would recommend that every time you reconnect and reattach that you just give this a little nudge and make sure that it's nice, tight, and secure. The Ruittos clip does not have any arrows to show you which way to install the camera lens the way my Manfrotto does, but in this case the markings aren't really necessary because the Ruittos clip is Arca Swiss style. So basically it's reversible. No matter which way you want to connect it, you can. And once it's on there, it's very secure. This never came loose the entire time I was working with it. The ball head movement was smooth and consistent. I could rotate 360 degrees all around with it. I could go up, down, 45 degrees. At the indent, 90 degrees. One thing to remember when you loosen the ball head is that you do need to have a hold on the camera or it will just crash over to the side. For panning, there's a handle. Having this handle was nice. My Manfrotto does not have this feature at all. The thumb screw that holds this handle in the socket does tend to work its way loose. I am a little worried that I may lose the handle one day. I don't usually use this feature. I don't do a lot of panning with my photography. So for my usage, I might just remove it and take it off. It's a little less bulky that way as well. I have another plastic tripod with a similar type handle that also works its way loose, so perhaps it's just the way I'm using it or the way I'm carrying it that makes that happen. But that is something you might just want to continue to kind of tighten. Just check it every once in a while if you're going to leave that attached. So at the end of my first day of testing, I was pretty impressed. My second day of testing was at a local pond, and I brought the Manfrotto with me. And I put both units through similar actions and rotations and angles to just compare them side by side. First, I tested the swivel, the panning motion. With the Ruittos mechanism, the part that loosens the ball head is the same piece that loosens the rotation mechanism. If I had this too loose, I got a little bit too much up and down movement with the ball head as I was trying to pan back and forth. So I found I had to tighten this up to a degree where this would still spin and pan smooth and freely, but the ball head was locked. The Manfrotto has two separate controls, one for the swivel at the base and one for the ball head. But I found actually that could be sometimes a little bit confusing when you're out in the field and I was turning the wrong mechanisms. So that could slow you down actually a little bit to have both, but it does allow you to have finer control over both pieces individually. I did a panoramic sequence with both ball heads using the swivel. The ball head from Ruittos performed very well. The panning was a bit jumpy and there was a little bit of up and down movement. The red areas I have highlighted show you the areas where that up and down or angled movement occurred. But after readjusting the ball head on the second try, it was much smoother and there was much less up and down movement. It was almost perfect. I was pleasantly surprised at how well it came out after only a few minutes of practice. It actually outperformed the Manfrotto when I did the same sequence, and I've been using the Manfrotto for a long time. Then I did some different angles with the camera. I did some angles at approximately 45 degrees, left and then right. I did a portrait, rotating the ball head the 90 degrees. And then finally, I did some straight down shooting. It was quick and easy to change between these different angles and rotations. So let's talk about the leveling process. I was on very uneven ground and it was uneven in multiple directions. I'm accustomed to the round levels on my Manfrotto and I prefer those just for my own personal use, but the dual levels on the Ruittos B2 ball head are actually more accurate and better for you to be able to get level in both directions vertically and horizontally. It is time consuming. I didn't find it very easy to do because I'm not accustomed to it, but it can be done, and once it's done, it's very accurate. There's a very strong advantage to having dual levels because it will tell you which way you're out of level, whether it's horizontal or vertical. With a round level, that's a little bit harder to do. So this is actually a nice advantage of this ball head. The B2 does have a round level for top-down shooting, which works just like the Manfrotto one does. I did not test the Ruittos with my phone or with any video, but I'm sure it would perform pretty much the same way and that everything I've discussed would still apply. I think the panning for video could be very smooth once you have your tension set up correctly. Since it felt secure with my heavy Canon 5D, I feel like it would work pretty solidly for a smartphone or a vlogging rig with a mirrorless camera and microphone. I think it'd be adequate for many types of photography, including studio work or panning with action shots of kids, pets, and wildlife. If you want to go pro someday and you're just starting out, or you're an amateur or a beginner, it's definitely good for those purposes, and it's definitely budget friendly. I was using it on my Manfrotto tripod legs, which are very sturdy and heavy and well built. If you tried to use this on a plastic or a cheaper tripod, your results might vary, but I found it to be very sturdy and secure. Overall, I really liked this Ruittos B2 ball head. I won't be using it on my main tripod setup since I already have the Manfrotto ball head for that, but I will definitely use it on my secondary tripod and my monopod. So whether you would want to buy this product, you'll have to decide based on your photographic needs, genre and style, and budget. If this video helped you make a decision about buying this product, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Stay tuned for more videos from the Focused Camera channel, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.